80% of your audience for that. And there are people, I should say, that are still not happy with this response, okay? Or at least they're not happy because have had the wool pull over their eyes or whatever. Or they're just not happy with how this whole thing was handled and that they basically did, radio silence for 3 days because of all of this. But there are also people who totally think this is a reasonable response and that they are done, with being angry and that they're going to subscribe to the Patreon and to Watcher, which I think is just a bot. Because what do you mean you're going to do both? That doesn't make sense. But basically that they're looking forward to the show and things like that. But they still have lost quite a lot of subscribers. They were at just under 3 million at the time, and they are now at 2.84 million. I do think some of that has come back. Some people have come back, but some people are not. Let's go through some of these comments on this one. The absolute crisis mode these guys must have been in over the weekend. I paid $5.99 to be a fly on the wall of that Watcher office these last 72 hours. I'm glad they apologized and came up with a compromise, but I still wish they'd realize they don't need high budgets or a huge staff. Their amateur video days were their best. And I think that's the sentiment that I have seen quite a bit, especially on TikTok. Like, people loved BuzzFeed Unsolved, where there would be certain cut scenes where they would be like telling a story, and it would all of a sudden cut to a black screen, and it would be white and blue text to show Shane and Ryan bantering back and forth, okay? And it would just be like literally moving text on screen. People love those moments. They are still referenced and used as memes to this day, years later. I don't think that has happened with any of the Watcher content, because you can have the highest production value. I'm not saying this is the case, but I'm saying that you can have the highest production level possible, okay? And still have unentertaining content that doesn't connect with people. You are not entitled to an audience that loves your production value if they don't love the content. Same with any YouTuber that is watching this, but I shoot in 4K, I should have 1 million followers. Are you entertaining? Are you smart? I don't know. What else do you bring to the table other than my video is crisp? Because I'll tell you what, I know creators who still shoot on iPhones and edit on iPads. Their mics are from Urban Outfitters, okay, those little mini, they still record on those. People want entertaining content. So much of my audience that I know for a fact is you guys, hi guys, is people who are artists who are not even watching this video right now. I am being played as a podcast. They don't need the high production value. I could be filming on a potato and they would still tune in because they want to hear me talk about something they barely care about. A bunch of the people watching this probably have never heard of you guys. They're just like, oh my God, wait, Swell's gonna talk about something? Crazy, great, welcome on in. I'm not trying to say I'm better than the Watcher guys. I'm trying to say you don't know what your audience wants really, because they don't want the crazy production values. Someone on TikTok was like, I don't know about you guys, but I think we have ghosts at home. I'm cool with local ghosts. I'm cool with local ghost hunting. I don't think we need to go to the UK. I don't think that's necessary. We've got ghosts back home. Which we do. We've got a lot of ghosts in the US. As someone who makes some very expensive content, I just got back from Japan. Those videos are not going to make back the cost of that trip to Japan. I know that, okay? So I have videos that are also sponsored, and then I have videos like this one. This cost me nothing but several brain cells to film, and then I'm gonna pay William to edit it, and that is the entire cost of this video, okay? Because I know that I need to do videos like this and just talk about topics that I'm interested in, or I wanna be nosy and I wanna deep dive because I'm crazy, that I need to make videos like this so that I can be able to afford to do those bigger project videos or go to an event that costs $500 or something like that, because my audience wants me to go and review that event, okay? That, I know that that's what I have to do, because that is how I keep my business, my income, my revenue, my total gross profit and costs in balance as a business owner. If you have fumbled how you laid out your business, that is not on your audience to fix. Now, if you do have to, comes to a point where you do have to fire people, then the best thing you can do as a business owner is help people find new jobs. The best thing you can do as a business owner, hey, we have to let you go, but we're gonna let you a glowing letter of recommendation. We know several other people that would love to have you. Let's try and get you new work, but we can't afford to keep you on right now. That is the difficult thing you have to do in business. It sucks, and I don't want anyone losing their job, but that's the reality of the industry that we are in. The thing about content creation is it's one of the few industries that has no earnings cap. And so like tech, we're seeing this insane thing happen as well, where people are just expecting exponential profit and exponential growth. And that is not sustainable for anyone, but especially audiences and platforms in general. So many creators are feeling it, and the answer is be more responsible with your money, be more responsible with your finances to avoid things like this happening. A bunch of people have shared, like, you know, how could they have done this, you know, in a way that would make it so that it wasn't so alienating to audiences. And a bunch of people have brought up dropouts as an example. One, Watcher is not dropouts. It just isn't. Watcher was never College Humor. What you also can do is like, oh, these shows are going to be explicitly on Watcher, but these shows are going to be available on YouTube as well. Like, you can do specialty shows and things like that. There's quite a few YouTubers that have, you know, private, you know, bonus content on their own platforms. Because as a YouTuber, I share this as well. YouTube could demonetize my stuff tomorrow, okay? So I am a big fan of owning your content. Having a place where you actually own where all your videos are and you control all of that, I think that's fine. Having watcher.com where you've got all your stuff extra shared, that is fine. I don't know how you ever thought that having only travel season at launch was going to be a good idea. Someone brought up a good point that I didn't even think about. I'm no economist, but if you're struggling to pay your existing staff, I doubt hiring 3 new hosts is a way to resolve that issue. Valid flippin' point. What are you doing? Why would you acquire a new show when you can't afford to pay your existing staff if it's that difficult? Anyways, do I think this will kill Watcher? No, I think this is going to make it very difficult for them. But if anyone who is still watching them over this time, we'll see what happens in the next couple of months. I think the next couple of months are critical. I think you guys have really nuked the goodwill you had with your audience. And I think that that's going to be very difficult to get back, if you can get it back at all. Someone brought it up really well. It's like, listen, we already followed you to a new platform. We followed you from BuzzFeed to Watcher. That's why we're here. And yet, what we've done is not good enough, okay? Because then the answer would be cutting back costs, reevaluating costs. Like I said, more money is never going to solve bad business practices. I think that's where I'm really going to end this. Did you ever watch BuzzFeed Unsolved? Did you ever watch Watcher? Were you aware of Watcher before all this started? Are you going to go and subscribe to Watcher TV? Did this response actually mean something to you? Do you think that this is going to help them gain back goodwill? Let me know, comment down below. Reminder that I stream on Twitch, reminder that Swell Entertainment is now available on Spotify, reminder to use code SWELL for 10% off on gamer subs. Shout out to all my patrons. If you also explore my Patreon, link down below. If you'd like to follow me on all social media, that'll be up here, and that's me. Have a lovely day. Goodbye. Why would you ever say we chose $6 a month because everyone can afford it when everyone's already paying for so many streaming services and you've previously sold your content for free, essentially? Bad choices all around. Thank you, Oz, Eva, Ayana, Abby, Angel, Goth, Glenn, Palace, Pink, Jasmine, Lauren, Amy, Aslan, Medic, Rosie, Victor, Andrew, Tenzin, Sam, Mae West, Michael, Ryan, Adira, Nathan, Zwink, Literal, Jeffrey, Randy, QWERTY, Nomad, Thomas, Tasha, Donnie, Winter, Kenny, Robert, Cameron, Elliott. And then flying out the next day. I got the VIP entry and I bought that on January 27th of this year, and it cost me $70.46. As I mentioned previously, I usually get VIP for these events so I can review as much as possible and cover as much as possible. Now, VIP, it seems like the only perk that I was really supposed to get was that I was able to access the floor an hour early. That is important because that was a point of contention for a lot of people. So I flew in that Saturday morning, went and got coffee with my friend Macy who lives out there, and she was like, hey, well, let me just drive you to like the event center, okay? I was like, okay, I'll get in line an hour early so I can get in because I had made plans for that night and I had to leave by 5. Because again, I thought this was a 2-day event. I think I got more than enough content for you guys. I think I covered more than enough. So the event itself was always at the same location. It was the expo at the World Market Center in downtown. So after coffee, Macy takes me to the expo. And first, the parking lot's blocked off. Like completely, like the beams are up. There was no one around. Just all blocked off. And there is nobody there, not a single person that we could see. And Macy was like, I don't feel safe dropping you off down here. And I was like, I don't blame you. So she ended up dropping me off across the street because I was like, everything says it's here. Nothing else says it was canceled. And if it was canceled, I have to be here anyway because that's content. I told her I would message her once I got inside so that she knew I hadn't been abducted, but we were good. So I just go and sit on the benches outside the expo because I saw people going inside, but there wasn't a ton of people going inside, and they were clearly holding stuff. So I'm like, okay, they're clearly either vendors, the bakery people, employees, what have you. So I was like, okay, cool. So probably not any attendees yet. I need to make it very clear to you, there is no signage of any kind. Zero, zip, nada, nothing to imply that there is an event happening on this day on the outside exterior. I know that's the same thing. I'm trying to really drive this point home. There was nothing. And the parking lot's blocked off, which implies do not come here. No bueno, that's what that implies. No sign, no nothing, no arrows, no parking that way, none of that. So I go over there and I just sit there on the bench outside for about 30 minutes, just trying to see if anyone's gonna come by, maybe a crowd will pop up, maybe they'll prop the doors open, I don't know, something. As I'm sitting there, I see multiple cars try and pull into the parking lot, stop, get confused, and then turn around and leave, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'm not the only one who thinks this is weird. And then finally I saw a group of people that were like there was like a couple with like a child and then like a couple of people, and I was like, oh, okay, probably also attendees, I'll follow them in. It was like 2:30 at the time. We walk inside, and inside there are some signs in the hallway area. There were a couple of people kind of milling around, and then eventually some people in black dessert wear shirts came out. Security, I don't know. Were they also in the same exact shirts?
Bye.
Because if not,